You've had one of those days. The kind that quietly wears you down until you're sitting on the floor, or the edge of your bed, crying before you even decide to. You didn't call anyone. You didn't say a word out loud. You didn't even reach for your phone. And somehow, without being asked, without a single command, your dog gets up from wherever it was lying, walks over, and rests its head on your lap. It doesn't move. It doesn't ask for anything. It just stays, warm and still, exactly where you need something to be. You've probably felt it too, that strange, comforting feeling that your dog somehow knows. Not just that something is wrong, but that you need it to stay close right now, more than any other moment today. Maybe it happened on the couch, your dog quietly climbing up beside you when it normally isn't allowed. Maybe it followed you into a room and simply refused to leave, lying by the door like a small, silent guard. It's easy to explain this away as some kind of sixth sense. A mysterious bond. Dogs just know, people say, like it's magic, like there's an invisible wire connecting your feelings straight to theirs, something science could never fully explain. But here's a question worth asking. What if it isn't a sixth sense at all? What if your dog is reading something real, something you're broadcasting without even realizing it? Start with your face. Long before you've admitted to yourself that you're upset, your face has already changed. The corners of your mouth, the muscles around your eyes, the tension in your jaw, all of it shifts in small, involuntary ways. Dogs have spent thousands of years living close enough to human faces to become remarkably good at reading them, and researchers studying canine behavior have found that dogs can reliably distinguish a sad human expression from a neutral or happy one. Now add your voice. Even a single trembling word, even just breathing differently, carries information your dog is built to notice. Researchers studying vocal cues have found dogs respond distinctly to the acoustic patterns of distress, even without understanding a single word being said. Add your posture, slower movements, a lowered head, arms pulled in close, shoulders curled slightly forward. And add something even less obvious, scent. Emotional states shift the chemical signature of your sweat, and a dog's nose, built to detect concentrations far beyond anything a human could notice, is sensitive enough to register some of those changes. Put all of that together, and you get multisensory integration, the brain's process of combining information from multiple senses, sight, sound, and smell, into one single, unified read of a situation. Picture separate puzzle pieces, face, voice, posture, scent, sliding together until a single, clear picture forms in an instant. Your dog isn't relying on one signal alone. It's stacking several at once, and the combination is far more reliable than any single piece could ever be on its own. There's a well-known study from 2012, led by researchers Deborah Custance and Jennifer Mayer, that looked at how dogs respond when a person nearby starts to cry versus when they simply hum or talk normally. The dogs in the study approached the crying person more often, and did so gently, showing submissive, comforting body language, regardless of whether the person crying was their own owner or a complete stranger. Have you ever wondered why that detail matters so much? If dogs were only responding out of loyalty to their own owner, you'd expect them to ignore a crying stranger completely, saving their comfort only for someone they were bonded to. They didn't. That points towards something closer to emotional contagion, the tendency for one individual's emotional state to spread to and be picked up by another nearby individual, almost like a yawn passing quietly through a room. It's not full human-level empathy. It's something simpler, and in some ways more automatic, a kind of emotional ripple that dogs seem built to catch. None of this means your dog understands your sadness exactly the way another person would. It almost certainly doesn't know why you're upset, and it isn't reasoning through your specific problem. What the evidence suggests is something a little different, and honestly just as remarkable. Your dog notices that your emotional state has changed, and responds to that change with comfort-seeking behavior it may have inherited, learned, or some blend of both. That shift didn't happen by accident. It goes back to domestication itself, the long process by which wolves gradually adapted, generation after generation, to live alongside humans instead of apart from them. The wolves that paid closer attention to human moods, who could sense tension, distress, or danger in the people around them, were often the ones who stayed closer, fed better, and survived longer, while the ones who couldn't read a room drifted back toward the wild. Over thousands of years, sensitivity to human emotional states stopped being incidental. It became one of the most useful traits a dog could have, passed down and sharpened across countless generations until it became second nature. Think about what that means for the dog resting its head on your lap right now. It isn't performing a trick learned yesterday. It's running an ability shaped across thousands of years, refined specifically to notice you. There's a chemical layer to this too. Close, gentle contact between you and your dog, the kind that happens during exactly this sort of quiet moment, triggers a release of oxytocin, a hormone linked to bonding, trust, and comfort, in both of you. Some researchers have measured this effect directly, tracking oxytocin levels rise in both dogs and their owners simply from prolonged eye contact and touch. At the same time, that same closeness can help ease cortisol, the hormone your body produces under stress, gradually settling your nervous system even if nothing about the situation itself has changed. In other words, your dog curling up beside you isn't just emotional theater. It may be changing your actual body chemistry in that moment, and its own, in a small, quiet feedback loop that neither of you consciously controls. It's worth being honest about the limits of all this too. None of it means your dog understands your specific problem, or that every comforting nuzzle proves some deep emotional understanding. Scientists don't claim to know exactly what a dog feels internally when it lies down beside a crying person. What the evidence does show is narrower, and still remarkable. Dogs reliably notice that something in you has changed, and they respond to that change in consistent, comforting ways. That's why the next time your dog quietly climbs onto the couch beside you, or refuses to leave your side during a hard week, it's worth noticing what's actually happening underneath the surface. It isn't magic. It isn't mind reading. It's an animal running millions of years of evolution and thousands of years of shared history, all pointed directly at keeping you close when it matters most. Your feeling that your dog understands you wasn't wrong. It just wasn't a sixth sense. It was biology, built slowly, one generation at a time, refined through faces and voices and scent and touch, for exactly this moment. So the next time you're sitting alone, and that quiet weight settles beside you on the floor or the couch, let yourself feel it fully. You don't need proof that it's real, but now you have some anyway. You're not imagining the comfort. You're witnessing one of the most sophisticated emotional relationships two species have ever built, resting its head gently on your lap, staying exactly as long as you need it to.